Hi, welcome to Reset Your Mindset. I'm Jen Rogers, Yahoo anchor, wife, anxious mom of three. Today I'm here to dive into a topic that's front and center, mental health. I think it's fair to say that everyone is struggling in one way or another. For the next 90 minutes, let's focus on ways to find light in the middle of this very long tunnel. Today we'll hear from superstar athletes, actors, and Grammy-winning musicians who will all be part of the conversation. Let's get right to it. First, with legendary tennis star Serena Williams, talking with our own Dylan McGee, founder of Makers Verizon Media's women's brand. Take a look.
Thank you, Jen. As Jen said, I'm Dylan McGee. I'm the founder and executive producer of Makers. And on behalf of Yahoo and Verizon Media, welcome to Reset Your Mindset. Could not be more excited to be sitting here with one of the greatest women of all times, the one and only, my friend, Serena Williams. Hi, Serena.
Hi, Dylan. How are you?
I think we have to dive right into your beautiful outfit.
So I'm donating a Cinderella gown because my daughter dressed me. My baby comes to all the meetings with me.
Hi,
Sorry.
Olympia.
Olympia, you want to say hi?
Hi.
You show your Cinderella dress?
No.
So I'm curious if that playfulness has been something that's been getting you through these crazy times.
I'm just really thriving. I'm here, I'm with my daughter, and it's a lot of stuff that I don't get to do normally. I feel like I almost get to be normal. And that, as weird as it sounds, it's like amazing and I love it.
I have to say, there was one moment, I can't remember, it was in early March.
Yes.
You let the world know that you were like, okay, people, I'm starting to crack.
Yeah,
and I was elated. I was like, okay, if Serena's cracking, I can crack.
It was just being at home all day, and now I'm grateful for it, but I wasn't used to it, just never leaving the house. And I started quarantining a little bit earlier. I was in the house a really long time, and then I was like, I'm with the 2-year-old who's amazing, but it's a lot of work every single day. And then she was in this phase where every word was mommy, but we overcame it, and now we're in our Cinderella robes. So I got these blue light glasses. They're kind of cool, but I'm not really used to wearing them. I think I'm going to take them off. They're like giving me a headache.
So tell me about your training.
I took like 6 weeks off of just nothing. And so that's why I was like, I really have to watch what I eat. I see all the memes online that talk about quarantine. Everyone's getting a little thicker, but I really took out this time to take and cleanse my body. I do intermittent fasting. I try to eat healthy, and it's no fun. And I'm like, I want to drink in quarantine too. I was having some knee issues, and I was like, I don't have to train. This is great. I can actually heal. And then so the last 3-4 weeks I've been back on the court, and it's been great. I'm like, oh my gosh, no pain. Like, this is amazing.
So it sounds like we've got you're eating healthy, you're, back into training. But what about your mindset?
I do a ton of praying, which is so important in my life, as you know already. I don't know. I think that's the one thing I could work on a little bit more.
And one of the things that I find so endearing about you is your ability to be vulnerable. I'm wondering if there's any advice you have for those moms out there who are struggling right now.
It's hard. It's not easy. I think a lot of people just think, oh, you have a baby and you're so happy and it's amazing, and it is, but there's also a lot of other stuff that comes with that that's not really talked about. The whole process of having a baby is not easy, and being pregnant is not easy, and all the hormones that you get. I think the best thing we can do about it is just talk and not be afraid to talk about uncomfortable things. But I don't think they're uncomfortable to talk about. I'm like, this is what happened to me. This was my experience, and it is what it is. And don't think it's going to be roses, because it is going to be roses, but there's a lot of poop with those roses.
I mean, quote of the interview, there's a lot of poop with those roses.
Yeah.
So speaking about goals, I mean, again, it's got to be hard for you, even though there's part joy of this new phase you're in. There's also this looming, not knowing when you're going to get back to tennis.
I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like it's great. It's exciting, and I want it to happen. But then I'm just so confused about everything. I don't know, I'm in it. My job is international sports, so that really is affecting us in a different way. And so I'm like, gosh, this isn't great for us. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the corona and the I don't know if there's going to be a second wave like people are talking about. I don't know if it's good to open up, but I'm just waiting on the right people to make the decision. And then if it happens, I'm there. If it doesn't, then I'm going to be somewhere else doing some business until it comes back.
It's amazing. You have your business and your mom, and you have all these other things. You're going to have to go with the flow. You can't control it, right?
That's kind of how I am. That's how you have to be in tennis. Like, not everything is going to be perfect. And I think a lot of things that are in my sport has reflected how I am in life. That's why I think tennis is great, because it's great, but it helped me deal with a lot of things in life.
May is graduation month, and there are all these graduates who are graduating at their homes virtually and going into the workforce with this uncertainty. And I'm wondering what that advice to graduates is that you have.
If you can get through this, you can get through a lot of stuff, because this is something that the world has never been through, and they're the only people in history to go through this, and they are a future history lesson, and that's what they have to think about.
Anything else that you want to make sure everyone knows as we start thinking about resetting our mindset?
I'm right there with everyone. I can't say I have a tip. I'm here to take tips and provide humor, I guess. So that's it.
Well, you're bringing us so much joy, Serena.
Thank you.
Whether you're Cinderella, Snow White, or Serena Williams, the mom, we're so appreciative of your time and for kicking off Reset Your Mindset with us. On behalf of Yahoo, Makers, Verizon Media, we're so grateful for your time.
Thank you.
Now more than ever, people are feeling stressed and anxious. But Lori Gottlieb, psychotherapist and New York Times best-selling author of Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, reveals that there is hope on the horizon and that there are silver linings all around you if you know where to look.
I'm Lori Gottlieb. I'm a psychotherapist, and I'm the author of Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. There's so much going on right now, and it's a very strange time for all of us. And I think we're experiencing a collective sense of anxiety, loss, grief, sadness, uncertainty. I think the silver lining in this situation is that we're really being forced to focus on our emotional health. One way that we can reset our minds is to live more in what I call the both and, which means that we let the joy sit alongside the pain. People are afraid to feel joy in this time because they feel like it minimizes the difficulty of what's going on all around us. So people think, there's so much suffering going on. I can't laugh. I can't enjoy myself. I can't have fun playing a board game with my family. So I think one way to reset your mind is to say it is okay to feel the range of feelings and to have a range of experiences, some of which are going to be challenging and some of which are going to be nourishing. When people are going through a hard time, often they think this will never end. And especially right now, because there's so much uncertainty about when things are going to normalize again. Productive anxiety is useful anxiety because it helps us to act on something. So a productive anxiety is having reasonable anxiety about something so that you can take action. So we are reasonably worried about the spread of the coronavirus, and so we're taking action. We are social distancing, we are washing our hands, we are following the guidelines. Unproductive anxiety, on the other hand, is obsessive rumination. It's futurizing or catastrophizing. It's thinking about something scary that might happen in the future, but has not happened yet and may never happen. So checking the news every hour is not necessarily productive. Worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, not necessarily a productive use of your anxiety. So instead, when you're feeling unproductive anxiety, what can you do in that moment? Can you take a walk? Can you read a book? Can you talk to a friend? What are some things that you know help you to relax and to stop the obsessive rumination? I think that the biggest secret is that we have a lot of agency over our lives. And in particular, we have a lot of agency over what goes into our minds. We get to choose what goes in our minds at any given moment. So we might not have a lot of control over the situation, but we all have control over how we respond to the situation. One of the tools that I hope people take away from this time is really knowing what matters to them, what's important to them, and what they want to prioritize. So I think it's really helping us to say, what do I value? Am I living my life in an intentional way and in a way that aligns with what is meaningful and fulfilling to me?
Hi, this is Mayim Bialik, and I am quarantining here in my house with my children and many cats. And what makes me happy is when my children not only get along well, but when they genuinely seem to enjoy the fact that they exist in the other's life. This usually looks like hysterical wrestling, giggling, and hilarity.
Hi, future self of 2020.
Recording.
Welcome to Influencers. I'm Andy Serwer.
You can be an entrepreneur. I'm going to work my face off.
Donald Trump.
I think he gets voted out.
We're living in such a divided America.
Presidents will come and go. The power of the U.S. economy is pretty interesting.
This is a time for everyone to work together, no matter what your beliefs.
You don't really know what you're capable of until you get pushed into a corner.
That kind of uncertainty is tough for business.
You stick around long enough, you'll see everything in markets.
Hi, it's Lori Gottlieb again, and now we're going to talk a little bit about relationships. And the first one is from Rebecca in Massachusetts, and here's what she writes. The divide between those in relationships and friends with kids and single folks like myself has always felt fraught. Now it feels like that divide is even wider. Zoom gatherings leave me feeling even worse than simply being alone. I miss human touch the most, even just a friend's hand on my shoulder. How can I soothe myself as a solo person who wants to hold to social distancing but is starving for closeness? So my message to you is please don't hesitate to reach out because people really want to hear from you. They welcome maintaining these friendships. They really want to hear something that's not happening in their households. And I think sometimes you also mentioned this idea that sometimes you feel a little lonely because you see them in their families. And I think it's easy to idealize a situation that you're not in. They're struggling in lots of ways, and they may not be struggling in the same ways you are, but they're definitely struggling. And I hear about it in our therapy sessions. In a lot of ways, what they really want is some of what you have, which is they really want some time to themselves. They want some time to relax. They're very stressed out with the needs of everybody else that they have to take care of. So instead of comparing your situations, please reach out. You will find some common ground. And you'll both really enjoy having that connection and maintaining it during this time. And now here's one from Jessica in New York.
So I'm in a new relationship, relatively speaking. We've been together for 1.5 years. We decided to move in together a week before the quarantine. And now it feels like we're spending more time together than ever, which is amazing. But how do we come through this feeling stronger and more connected and not totally sick of each other?
So Jessica, moving in is a big transition during normal times, but now it's especially challenging because it's sort of like trial by fire. And so now the challenge is, how do you give each other that time apart that you both so desperately need as you're adjusting to so much time together anyway? So are you aware of the other person's needs? You guys are going to be having these conversations that maybe some couples don't have for months or even years down the road. You're going to have them right now, and you're going to learn a lot about how do you coexist with each other? What are some differences in your personalities? What are some ways that you can nourish each other? How do you help each other through a trying time?
Relationships have taken a big hit during the pandemic. For all of us, single, married, living alone, living together, it's all a little messy right now, which is why we wanted to touch base with actor and director Justin Baldoni, who is very vocal about being a good husband and a good guy. Here he is with his wife, actress Emily Baldoni.
My name is Emily Baldoni.
And I am Justin Baldoni.
Our daughter Maya is almost 5 and Maxwell is 2.5. And now we have a puppy.
Quarantine it's the Wild West. There's no rule. You can't do it wrong. You can't do it right, even though all of us feel like we're doing it wrong.
Literally, you cannot run away anymore. You can't go off to work and get distracted. We're forced to look at the things that maybe before we were not willing to look at. Luckily, a tool that we use a lot and that we've kind of mastered at this point is to communicate. And that's really what's helping us survive this without major meltdowns, is that we can speak to each other, we know how to listen to each other, and we've created a safe space to have these conversations. You are allowed to ask for what you need. And I would say that especially to the women out there, that you can even go to your partner and say, hey, I have something very important to talk about. I would love for you to listen to me.
So in our conversation series, we call Man Enough, what we're learning is we have to be willing to allowing our partners to know that not only are they heard, but their feelings are validated, and I'm going to show you that they're validated by my actions. One of the things that I know we've thought about a lot when this whole thing happened was like, wow, how lucky are we to have a house? The 65,000 people living on the streets of Los Angeles, like what are they doing, and what is the city really doing? So the Wayfarer Foundation is an organization I started 6 years ago now. For the next month or so, we're going to be feeding people on the streets. We're just trying to think beyond ourselves. I think that's been helping us as well. But it's important for us to like check how lucky we are, and think about those who are not in the same position. My optimistic view of this whole time for the world is that we'll look back and we'll remember the moment that unified our planet, that helped us reprioritize what mattered.
We really have been sent to our rooms to think about what we've done. And hopefully we all learned a lot through this process, whatever we had to learn. And those lessons are going to be different for everyone.
And maybe for human beings, they can learn what we talked about earlier, which is we can all listen to the point where we not just hear, but we actually act and make changes. And maybe this is the chance for humanity to come together and to really listen.
Yeah.
And then to wake up the next day and do something different. That's kind of how I hope we view this whole thing in 20 years, that we did something different afterwards.
Overall, this has been a very reflective and beautiful time for us to connect as a family.
Please, pay it forward to support the local businesses you love. Buy gift cards, order to go, shop local online. Pay it forward.
Morning!
What are you doing?
Isn't it obvious?
We're delivering live market coverage and offering expert analysis completely free.
We're helping you make sense of the markets from anywhere you are.
I get that, but what are you doing here?
Nice pajamas.
Really? I say pajamas.
Oh, pajamas, whichever.
Okay.
Yahoo Finance. Watch today on Channel 604.
Welcome to the show.
Let's make finance make sense.
I had my birthday party at home. I had sadness a little bit because I didn't get to do my birthday at school.
I miss going to stores and my teachers.
I miss my friends. I don't really like learning on a computer. Ballet and gymnastics and everything I miss. I miss my friend Sam. I miss school. I really miss Grandma because I can't even hug her. She's my own grandma.
I just want to be my normal self again.
I'm a little bit unhappy because my dad works at NYU and he can't come visit us. I've been writing this thing called Coronavirus News, and I put it in a tissue box on the front door. You might have a child. If you do, then tell them to think good thoughts because everything is going to be okay.
One special day was my birthday. My friends did a FaceTime together, and we all baked a birthday cake for me, but we all decorated them different. It was really special.
When this is all over, I'm gonna have a bunch of sleepovers with my friends. Go to grandma's. Go to Disney. Going to the beach. See my flying people.
That's it? Yeah. Do you want to talk about anything else?
I think I'm done. Well, okay.
I have 3 kids at home, and there are days when I look at them and I think about how lucky I am to be their mom. And then there are days when I'm ripping out my hair. One of my favorite parenting experts is Dr. Shefali, whose practical advice has saved me more times than I can count and might just save the day for you too.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shefali. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm a teacher of psychological and wisdom principles and also an author of several books on conscious parenting and mindful living. So with the advent of this new normal brought upon by the coronavirus, all parents are being challenged in ways that they have never been before because they're observing their teenagers go through a complete metamorphosis. Their young children are demanding more energy, attention, and time from the parent. So the parent is really being challenged to adjust in all these ways, but they're not the only ones. The children are adjusting as well. So the first thing we parents need to do is get the help to deal with our own anxiety. You know, if we're losing our jobs, if we don't know what tomorrow will bring, or if we're just panicked about our health or our loved one's health. Parents first need their equilibrium back. So I encourage parents to ask for help, be vulnerable, seek the support. This is not the time for pride or for isolation. And then the second thing to do to really forge a connection with children is to truly empathize that our children are not distance learners. This is not their natural way. They are overwhelmed by the technology. They associate technology with entertainment and pleasure, not with studying. And this kind of 1- and 2-dimensional form of learning is not their inherent way of learning. And so our children are going to act out. They're going to resist. Second is to end the siege of perfectionism. This is not the time to be perfect. This is not the time to learn 10 languages. This is not the time to lose 20 pounds. This is the time for emotional well-being and health. And I tell parents, just get the basic done. If the kid gets a pass, that's good enough. At this point, we cannot put more pressure on our children. And the third thing is, every time there's an opportunity to control your kid, try first to connect to them. So try first to validate them, praise them, hug them, be with them, play with them, and then introduce the control. So this means for the parent that they're really having to let go of so much power over their own futures, power over their own homes, their own time schedules. But I think if parents can keep these principles in mind, then they can better handle this tunnel of transformation that we are in and come out of this with a renewed sense of simplicity, slowness, more presence, more connection, and a lesser, pressure to succeed that we were all being run by pre-pandemic. We were all suffering under a very high level of pressure, and it's my hope and challenge to parents to release that pressure. Many parents want to use this time to keep up the hope, keep positivity, keep optimism. And while that's great, I also will urge parents to not have high expectations of this positivity curse. Don't try so hard to be positive. It's okay for your kids to see that you're disheartened. It's okay for your kids to see you're frustrated. But while you are, we also have to make sure that we're not falling apart every single day so that our children don't feel like our parents are a wreck and that there is no hope. So we have to do a healthy balance between being real, raw, transparent, and vulnerable, but also letting our children know it will pass. This is just for this moment. We will adapt. We are master adapters. Mommy and daddy, or mommy and mommy, whoever the parents are super creative, super resilient, super empowered, and we will get through this. We can do this. So we're not falling apart, but at the same time, we can't pretend if we're having big feelings, it's okay to share them too.
It's Ilaria Baldwin. I'm here quarantining with my family. I am currently pregnant. I'm about 5 months pregnant, and I have 4 children that are running every single direction in opposite directions all the time. They range between ages 1 and 6. It is extremely hectic, but we are figuring it out. So I'm trying to be grateful for this time because it is a time that we will never forget for the good parts and the bad parts. Gratitude gets me through every single day in perspective. Like, I'm like, you know what? We are so lucky we're healthy. That being said, it is extremely stressful. I have 4 kids, 6 and under, and I am over 5 months pregnant with number 5. I'm lucky in that I've been pregnant like a million times. I feel a lot for women who are having their first baby because I think that must be really scary, not just being pregnant and giving birth, but the after part. I mean, they tell you when you have a newborn, your job for the next month is don't let them get sick. And you're like, oh my God, I have to keep this thing that I made and was inside and now it's outside and I'm so excited to meet you, but now I have to keep you well. And then to keep a child well in Corona is extra scary. Right now it's been a big shift, you know, and Alec and I are people that we spend a ton of time together normally. So we are lucky that it wasn't like we had a very distant relationship and then all of a sudden we're like together all the time. But it's a different kind of togetherness. It's a togetherness where we're dealing with something that's extremely stressful. It's a big transition and literally the whole world is affected by it. So it's funny, when he gets down, I'm there to like pull him back up. And when I get down, he's there to pull me back up. You know, have we had our moments? 100%. If there's a relationship that is like, I've been completely seamless through this, I would like to know what exactly they're doing. But you know, then, you know, the clock ticks on and life goes on. I have to say it's really hard. The homeschooling thing is really hard because a lot of people can remember like doing homework with your parents wasn't always a great experience because you just interact with your parents differently than you do with a teacher. A lot of it is figuring out what the teacher exactly wants us to do. And so they said, you know what, even if he's not completing the whole piece of paper, just like have him like really get excited about one part. And if he feels like too much, then just like focus on the one part that he feels really excited about. And I thought that was such a nice thing to hear because before I was like, oh my God, we have to complete all of this stuff every single day. And then the next day, same thing, a whole new assignments. So I really loved that advice. I think, you know, advice for people is that we're all doing this together. I think there was a fear that a lot of people will express a fear that their kids are going to get behind. We're all in this together. So we're all going to be behind together. I cried the other morning and it was over like a bunch of really silly little things. And I don't typically do that. And my kids were all like, and I wasn't freaking out on them. I just had tears. There were just tears because I was so overwhelmed. Some things that I'm practicing that are helping me stay positive are spending me time at night. I close myself off in my bathroom and I love to exercise and do breath work. I take baths morning and night. That really, really helps me. And sometimes there's little people in the bathroom with me, which is fine, or inside the bath, but it's like the warm water on my skin. Whenever I get down, I always think about how much worse it could be. And how much worse it could be all of a sudden makes my situation seem not as bad. And with that, it pulls me up a little bit and allows me to have a lightness and a strength to be able to attack my problem.
Hi, my name is Margaret Stoll. I'm a writer. I write books and comics and games. You might know me from Beautiful Creatures. My next book is called Joe and Laurie. It's a Little Women retelling that's out soon. One of the things that gives me hope in this time is the video game Animal Crossing on the Switch. I'm not joking. I know you're supposed to say lofty things in serious interviews like this. Believe me, I'm as grateful for human faces as anyone, but there was something to be said for a way in which my family was able to feel normal, even if just for a minute, catching falling stars.
For 15 years, HuffPost has been breaking news, celebrating culture, and putting people before power.
And nothing could be more important than that.
I think we have an opportunity now to spread the word about whatever it is that we care about.
From heads of state to change makers to your community, HuffPost was there, sharing voices from all over the globe. Because for us, it's always personal.
Fios TV app. The only streaming app you'll ever want. Watch sports and never miss a moment. Watch your favorites on demand or from your DVR. Watch over 200 channels and binge watch data-free with Verizon Wireless. And search for movies and TV shows on the go. The way you watch just got better. Fios TV app. Included in your Fios TV subscription. Download it today.
I'm sick and tired of the pain and the hurt. I do this for Chester, Chris, and Kurt. Chester Lincoln Park, Chris Cornell, Kurt Cobain. Death is appealing. With death, I flirt. I tell you how I feel, and you think I'm a jerk. I'm not bugging, I'm struggling. All this guzzling is puzzling. So I stop hanging with Jack and Jim to fight in the battle that we all can win. I was out there killing the shows with Running Jay, but they started seeing that I was distant, so their whole thing was, what's wrong, D? What's going on? Why you act like this? What's going on? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Why are you feeling like this? It was just this big void in me. And that void was just so uncomfortable. That feeling of something's missing, something's wrong just became so uncomfortable that I didn't want to live no more. It was just crazy. It was crazy. Here I am, the mighty DMC King of Rock. When I got hit with that revelation, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that you could go seek help. I didn't know that there was people and organizations and doctors and therapists and programs that could help you. I did not know what to do. He said, yo, D, he said, there's nothing wrong with expressing your emotions. If you don't reveal how you really feel, you will never heal. And being honest with yourself is a beautiful thing. And that's what I learned about therapy. So for me, dealing with my truth, man, it's the most powerful thing that anyone could do. A lot of people don't tell their true feelings because they're worried about what people are gonna think. They're gonna think I'm weird if I'm feeling. There's nothing wrong with a person telling you, I don't want to live no more. Because that's how they feel. What's been wrong since this world has been in existence is how the world reacts to that person. With men, they think it's a weakness to say that you have a weakness. And that's not true. The black man, all this hip hop shit is bullshit. All of these dudes are fronting. But it's this thing with men where it's weak to say that you have a weakness. It's the strongest thing that you could ever do in your life, because admitting that you have a weakness, your strength is revealed to you. If we remove guilt and shame, we remove the pain. There's nothing wrong going through what you're going through. What happened to me was I realized with the same sincerity and honesty that I told you that I'm the greatest thing on the earth, I have an even more greater power by letting y'all know I'm not doing good.
Michael Phelps is the most decorated Olympian of all time. Throughout his entire career, he has talked about how grateful he is. But at times, that journey has not been easy. Michael's been very open about battling depression, anxiety, and even thoughts of suicide. But he continues to fight as a role model, not just for his 3 boys, but for everyone around the world.
It breaks my heart every single time I read a story about an athlete or a celebrity or just somebody fighting COVID who takes their own life. Suicide rates have to stop climbing. It honestly, it drives me insane. Like I want to start crying right now just because it's, you know, I know how difficult it is in this time. I've personally have felt that I don't want to be alive in my life. I've felt that feeling before and it's scary. And I have 3 little boys here and I never want to miss a single day. And the days that I struggle, I look at them because those guys are the ones that are helping me get through all of this. This time is probably the most stressful time we've all gone through. You know, really not knowing what to expect, when it's going to end, when we're going to be able just to go back to normal. I was very fortunate to accomplish almost every goal that I ever wrote down on a piece of paper, and it was incredible. It's a great feeling, especially looking back now and being retired. Did I know that it was going to have all of these other stresses or these outside variables that are going to affect me and how I think or how I live my life? Like, I never would have thought about that.
Rio Olympics were special.
I would know and expect that somehow mentally I would have a breakdown. I had a lot of them in my career, so it would just be something like a funk that I would kind of fall into for a few days and then I'd come out of it on fire. If I did say something about it, then it would be a weakness. And I'm not supposed to show a weakness. As a male athlete, we're not supposed to show that. That's allowing ourselves to become vulnerable. And in a competitive world, it's not the best thing. So for me to be able to see and hear stories, emotions that other athletes or celebrities or just random people who have shared the stories that they go through with me, it's really kind of amazing to see and to feel that I'm just a normal person, because that's all I think I am. I can say this has been the most difficult time for myself to go through. I've gone through some of probably the darkest moments, like continuous darkest moments that I've gone through. And they've gone on week stretches, and it's scary. But I think for me, what I've been able to learn through my experiences through mental health has been stick in the same routine. So for me, it's working out every day. It's, make sure I'm getting the right amount of sleep. If I need to go on a walk, like taking care of what I need to make sure I'm the best of me.
Michael Phelps is opening up about his anxiety and depression.
According to Business Insider, Phelps struggled with untreated mental health issues for years.
And now he's using his celebrity status for such a great cause. The Michael Phelps Foundation is teaming up with the federal government's drowning prevention campaign. It's called Pool Safely.
May is a huge month, not only for water safety, but for mental health. I mean, not only with the foundation, but with Talkspace as well. Being able to help some of the front line and give them hours to be able to try to help them through their everyday struggles. I think that's the biggest thing. And with the foundation, with the curriculum that we have, helping kids talk about their emotions, understand their emotions and where they're coming from. Reset your mindset. For me to refocus or reset my mindset, to me, it's just like, what are my goals? What am I trying to achieve? What can I pick on to, what's one thing that I can grab on and I can be really good at that thing? I can work on that one thing today and that's all I'll do. So for me, I always try to turn a negative into a positive, and it's even more challenging in a time like this. So I think when you reset your focus, you're just almost taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and then starting on your journey again.
Investing is looking at the business itself and saying, what will this do over time? I bought my first stock when I was 11 years old. The progress of mankind has been incredible, and that won't stop. Be sure to watch the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting live streamed on Yahoo Finance.
Morning. What are you doing? Isn't it obvious?
We're delivering live market coverage and offering expert analysis completely free.
We're helping you make sense of the markets from anywhere you are.
I get that, but what are you doing here?
Nice pajamas.
Really? I see pajamas.
Oh, pajamas, whichever.
Okay.
Yahoo Finance. Watch today on Channel 604.
Welcome to the show.
Let's make finance make sense.
What's the secret to happiness? If you think there's not an answer to that question, think again. Laurie Santos is the creator of the wildly popular Yale University class, The Science of Well-Being, which millions have signed up for online. Here's what she had to say.
I think the most important thing to recognize during times of crisis is that we have a lot of control about how this situation plays out. We might not be able to control this virus or how it's affecting people, but we can control our own reaction to that virus. We are facing an unprecedentedly scary pandemic. It makes sense that we're afraid. But one thing to remember is that even our negative emotions are there for something. Emotions actually have functions. And one of the functions of fear is to help us kind of take some action to change things around. We can use fear to motivate other positive behaviors that might be really helpful. If you're worried about an elderly or vulnerable family member, reach out to them, make a connection. If you're worried about what's happening with local businesses, do something to try to help, make a donation. Whenever I'm feeling a little frantic and scared, this is the time for me to take 3 really deep breaths. Biologically speaking, you're helping your body to turn off that panic system. One thing that you can do if you're in a position of being by yourself is really try to reach out and form social connections, connecting with someone in real time, talking over something like Zoom or Skype and so on. That can be almost as good as the face-to-face connection that we get. Social distancing doesn't have to become social disconnection. We can all get in this zone of thinking that what we need right now is self-care, to steal the term from Parks and Recs, treat yourself. But what the research shows is that treating ourselves doesn't necessarily work for our well-being. We'll get a bigger well-being boost for our buck by trying to turn that self-care into other care, by sort of using our time and even our money to help other people in need. Our own happiness can promote some of the things we really need in this crisis. Positive mood can actually form a small protective effect for your immune system. The act of focusing on other people can wind up making us happier than we often really expect. This isn't the time to be extra criticizing your husband for how well he does the dishes or how he loads the dishwasher, right? We all need a little flex and a little benefit of the doubt right now. But that can be a really powerful technique for just kind of downgrading the tension that everyone's feeling right now. A second strategy that couples tend to use in crisis is that this tends to be the time that it's great to double down on the stuff that you're good at, whether that's taking care of the kids or playing games or even their sexual relationship. There's something about your relationship that's good. So we originally put out a class on the science of well-being back in 2018. It was right after I taught a live class at Yale. And from 2018 up until recently, we had about 500,000 learners, which was really incredible. But just in the last couple weeks, we have tripled that. We now have over 2 million learners who are taking the class, which is a little bit surreal. All of us are really struggling with our mental health right now. We know what we need to do to fix our physical health, right? We need to wash our hands and socially distance. But a lot of us are looking for similar evidence-based practices to help our mental health. These are practices like mindfulness meditation, where you're taking time to say, focus on your breath for like 3 minutes every day. Squeeze a 5-minute phone call into someone we care about, right? Which can promote social connection and maybe help someone out if they're in a vulnerable situation. You don't have to do this perfectly. Any kind of tiny thing you do is progress towards a happier goal. The secret to happiness is that happiness takes work. When you go through a challenging situation, you often come out on the other side stronger, more resilient, with stronger social connections, and often even a bit greater sense of purpose and meaning in your life. The worst challenges can bring the strongest results on the other side. For me, that's been an important thing to remember as we get through this crisis.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Gorder, interior designer and television personality, lifestyle lady, and I'm here to talk to you about the weird state of now. We're all home looking at all the cracks and things that we haven't done that we need to do. Let's talk about how fixing and making home a little bit better can make our mindset a whole lot better too. So I know we're all living in this crazy pandemic of home and safety and fear and what's next and how much do I spend to make my house what I want. I'm hoping, just in a time that we're really focusing on our mental health, that starting with home is a really great medicine for all of us and how we wake up and how we treat ourselves all day long. Let the light in, open the windows, bring in some brighter colors to change your mood. It is absolutely true. It's not fluff. I think more now than ever, keeping a happy home, keeping a cradle that takes care of you instead of you working for it is important every single day. And this is the time to slowly fix all the things you never had time for. These little projects that you can even set daily can have such a huge effect on psychologically how we feel and how we treat others and ourselves in our home and outside of it. It's an important time. Focus on the cradle. I think first and foremost is create a budget that you're okay with to spend, whether it's a new lamp for your bedside table or a new pillow for the bed to get rid of the one that's ripped that your dog ate. I mean, these are things that we all live with and hide to the exterior, but we feel in the interior. Start with the things that are free. So that means space plans. How is your furniture laid out and how do you move throughout the space with objects? 50% of interior design is the layout. Move the stuff you already have around. Change the layout. Make an old chair feel new by moving it across the room. It really does change your whole mindset. Paint is really inexpensive and probably the most dramatic mood changer, room changer, space changer there is. $25 a gallon and a couple days work, which you have the time, honestly, to really change the landscape. And then it's accessories. These are the last 10% of every room, but they're really fun things. The objects, the sculpture, the art, the decoration. Move your art around the room. Stop being committed to the same accessory layout that you've had for the last 5 years. So those are the easy, cheap things to do. I guarantee you, every home store is having a sale right now. Take advantage of the 80% off because they are in your face and it will pay off enormously, especially right now. If we really think about this silver lining of this weird time, we can come out of it however new, improved, and different we want to be. Like that's a gift. Take advantage of it.
Hey guys, Jillian Michaels here, and I'm super excited to speak with you today about how to prioritize yourself during these crazy times. So I get it completely. Things are scary, crazy, unknown. We have our kids at home. For those of us that have kids, we're overwhelmed in pretty much every conceivable way. And at times like this, it's absolutely normal to say, I can't handle anything else. I'm checking out on my self-care and all the other stuff that I deem to be more punishing. But one of the most important things you can do is invest in your self-care and prioritize your health right now. Here are some examples of very simple and straightforward exercises that you can do any place, utilizing just your own body weight.
First, squats. Now, push-ups. Moving into bicycle crunches. Next up, dips. And the last move will be burpees. I want you to do each move for 30 seconds each, performed in swift succession for 3 total rounds.
Ultimately, what matters for you is that you're showing up and you're showing up with intention. So download an app, right? Go on YouTube, go on Instagram, find a fitness influencer that you like, that you want to spend a few minutes with every single day, and do that workout. So for example, I'm going to provide free 7-minute workouts on my app. They're there every day. Download it, costs you nothing, show up for 7 minutes, but I am asking you to pick something that you like and show up consistently for it with the intention to care for yourself, even if it's 7 to 10 minutes a day. That works, and that will make all the difference.
Hi, this is Natalie Morales from The Today Show, and I just wanted to say, first of all, I feel for what everyone is going through right now. I know this is a tremendously difficult time. What is helping me get through all of this right now, though, is sticking to a routine and also taking a little bit of time for myself each and every day, whether that involves a quick run or a long walk with my dogs, whatever it is that gives me that much needed boost and gives me that calm and peace of mind. So find that thing, whatever that thing is that allows you to have some calm and peace of mind, allows you to think, whether it's journaling, talking to a long lost friend, reaching out to somebody in need, giving back in a meaningful way, whatever makes you feel like tomorrow is going to be a better day. Please take care of one another.
It's your portfolio. It's your retirement. It's your money. Isn't it time you trade up? With Yahoo Finance Premium, you can trade up to tools that let you go beyond the fundamentals, to exclusive access to proprietary data and pattern recognition. With industry-leading insights and advanced charting, you can make the best moves for your money. Get started with your free trial today.
Welcome to Influencers. I'm Andy Serwer.
You can be an entrepreneur. I'm going to work my face off.
Donald Trump.
I think he gets voted out.
We're living in such a divided America.
Presidents will come and go. The power of the U.S. economy is pretty interesting.
This is a time for everyone to work together, no matter what your beliefs.
You don't really know what you're capable of until you get pushed into a corner.
That kind of uncertainty is tough for business.
You stick around long enough, you'll see everything in markets.
Hi, I'm Guru Gaurapan, CEO of Verizon Media. The man on your screen next to me needs no introduction, but I'll give it my best shot. He's New York Times best-selling author, a role model to some, and an icon to others. Like my first name is Guru, some also consider him a spiritual guru. So please welcome my good friend, Deepak Chopra. It's a difficult time for so many people, as you know. Those who have lost jobs, lost loved ones, have work that takes them outside of the safety of their homes. And in the toughest times, what's the one thing you tell them to get through?
There are certain rules that people have observed throughout the ages in any situation like this. And there are questions you can ask. What am I observing? Well, what are we observing is a worldwide pandemic and a worldwide panic. What do I need? I need a sense of security. How do I fulfill that need? Being vulnerable and making a request with friends and family, help me feel safe, and how can I help you feel safe? We can offer help. So if you're in a position to financially help, then help. There's all kinds of help we can give each other. Emotional help, resources, creativity, or just being there to listen to each other.
Well, that's very profound. Thank you, Deepak, for that. Would you share like 3 steps we can all take to reset our mindset?
Yeah, 3 steps would be very simple. Close your eyes, feel your body. If you're agitated right now, your body will show distress, tightness. If you're relaxed, everything will be relaxed in your body. Now, we know this, that the breath and the body and the mind mirror each other. But by changing one of them, we can change all the others. So if you just observe your breath, then breathe through your belly, your mind will settle down and the sensations in your body will also settle down. Or if you just observe the sensations without judgment, and then as you observe it, slow it down. Just press the pause button and you'll feel better instantly.
As the world eases restrictions from the coronavirus pandemic, as people re-enter offices or schools, what advice would you give them to lower their stress and anxiety? I mean, how they start preparing and coming back. Is there a shortcut or quick fix to feeling our best when you put all of this together?
Yes, the shortcut is be here now. Right now, be here. The point of arrival is always now. So if you can be totally present to present moment experience, it's a shortcut.
Which is the one word that we should all hold on to now as we look ahead in the days, weeks, and months to come and how this all things transition?
Love in action, period. If I can express my love in action by doing something for someone, I'll feel better. Every time you don't feel better, ask yourself, who am I thinking about? And it'll be about you. The moment you shift your attention to somebody else with love and say, how can I help? You feel better instantly. So love in action is the one phrase.
With that, Deepak, love in action, I will take this dearly. And every time I feel like I talk to you or I follow you on, your live streams you do, it definitely makes my day and gives me so much strength going into facing so many things we are going through and eases our way through it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Guru, for giving me this opportunity. We are sharing this with a lot of people. Hopefully they're finding some intimacy and some strength.
Morning.
What are you doing?
We're delivering live market coverage and offering expert analysis completely free.
That's great, but why are you in my kitchen?
I love what you've done with the place.
Stream free anywhere.
For the world's greatest spy.
I am way too good at this.
The ultimate mission needs the ultimate disguise.
I can see my butt and your face at the same time.
Being a pigeon can make you an even better spy. In fact, pigeons can see in slow motion. Did anyone else see a pigeon?
Spies in disguise.
Rent or own the latest movies with Verizon Fios On Demand.
There are quite a few stigmas, I would say, in the Asian American community. Both my parents are Korean immigrants. The concept of therapy was not in their psyche. It was kind of like, you don't air your dirty laundry, you save face, you don't really talk badly about your spouse or your children or anything. I remember saying, I'm so stressed. And my dad quickly quipped at me, stress is your imagination. And I think that really stuck with me because that sort of represents one of the stigmas that you should not necessarily be turning to other people to relieve your stress. But it was my junior year that things really changed. My mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and I think that's when my stress felt very debilitating. It felt as though things were very much out of my control, right? Like circling back to my dad saying, control your stress. And so I finally made my first appointment and I've never looked back. But it definitely was not a smooth journey. I probably saw 4 therapists before I found my therapist, who is a Chinese American woman. She's in her early 30s, and she saw the world in a similar way that I do. When my mom came to audit my therapy session, she actually got very emotional. So it was kind of beautiful because I think it was a step closer to her understanding the need and the catharsis of a space like that. I think therapy has really taught me and helped me find peace within myself and helped me try to understand myself better so that I can navigate this world better and I can treat the people in my life better. Right now in this COVID-19 pandemic, Asian Americans are suffering a lot from the discrimination, blatant racism, general sense of xenophobia that they're facing every day. My fiance and I, we go on walks. He's also Korean American, and he sometimes walks to the other side of the sidewalk if he sees a couple coming towards us. And I'm like, why are you moving? We're clearly 6 feet away from each other. And he's like, I don't want to have to deal with anyone being racist towards me. Just to be someone who is not white in this country, I think there is a lot of pain and baggage. One of the key things for me is to be able to show solidarity for people who are in positions of less power than you. That is the way that we overcome this. To me, resetting your mindset is shedding that extra layer of sweat and anxiety and tension, and to be able to, get deeper with yourself and to get a better understanding of who you are and who you want to be.
He's a 5-time All-Star, NBA champion, and an Olympic gold medalist. But Cleveland Cavs forward Kevin Love's lasting legacy may never be about what he does on a basketball court. In a 2017 game against the Atlanta Hawks, Love suffered a panic attack out of nowhere, and it forever changed him and the way athletes speak out about anxiety and depression. Today, in these uncertain times, Kevin knows his voice and mission of paying it forward is more important now than ever before.
As athletes, we're looked at as superheroes a lot of the time, and we can't get hurt. But I think that vulnerability and allowing others to look in and say, oh, they're humans too, and I can relate to that, it just makes us all feel like we're tighter or closer in some way. Success is not immune to depression or mental illness. No matter how much you've accomplished in your life, like you can't achieve yourself to beating this. It's something that will likely be with you forever. I just didn't want anybody else to tell my story, and immediately then, really soon thereafter, I decided, okay, it's probably time to stop compartmentalizing, living in the shadows, putting this thing off to the side. It's time not only to help myself, but potentially help others as well. I was mostly scared about how it was going to be perceived and if my livelihood was going to be affected, because I've put my entire life and everything into this game. But I was willing to follow my sword and take one for all the kids out there, any demographic, anybody, like I said, doesn't discriminate. I was willing to just say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to play all my cards. I'm going to put it all out there and let the chips fall. I was so over living in the shadows and being in pain and just trying to hide it from everybody. I think that was the biggest thing. Just felt like I was going to be outed, or I was going to be discovered as some type of a fraud. And it just wasn't conducive to a happy life or a healthy life, for that matter, living that way. Felt paramount for myself, but others around the league to really step up.
Great opportunity for us all to step up and lead our families. The best thing that we all could do right now is try to be as selfless as possible.
And other teams did it as well. Entire organizations did it as well in their communities. So I thought it was incredibly important to send a really good message, help people. And for me personally, in a selfish way, it was a great way to offset any anxiety or stress or that I've had during this time, because a lot like mental illness, this doesn't discriminate. This is really affecting everyone at some capacity. The landscape has changed. I mean, for what people need, frontline workers, arena workers from the beginning, really being put out of work, and NBA players really stepping up and getting their message out and being a driving force and feeling like that sense of community, whether it be distributing meals to local food banks, helping local people get meals, working with a lot of the hospitals, making sure that they're supplied with whatever they need, especially in Mental Health Awareness Month this month in May. Just continuing to be a voice, continuing to alleviate the stigma, educate people, just continuing the conversation surrounding mental health. Check out kevinlovefund.org. We have our 4 pillars, which are stigma, education, tools, and research, and we're using all of those to continuing to create that community and affect the masses. I think we're going to continue to grow that platform so that we can make a huge difference. I think if 2020 has taught me anything, it's to stay present, because we've had the loss of David Stern, Kobe Bryant. We've had the game taken away from us. Like, staying in the present has been probably, and always is too, like finding balance, the hardest thing to do during this time. I mean, resetting my mindset is just taking a step back and understanding or feeling my surroundings, really go head to toe and figure out exactly what I need. So resetting myself, especially during this time where you can feel bundled up, you can feel that stress, you can feel like you're bursting at the seams. It's taking a step back and just acknowledging or say, hey, okay, what is it, body and mind, that I need at this point? It's allowed me to have a lot more empathy, see everybody pretty much on a humanist, a personal level, even playing field, and just continuing to, feel like you're a part of the winning side of history. I think it's something that I feel like could be my life's work, but it took a lot to lead up to that point.
Hollywood superstar Shailene Woodley has recently been quite open about her own battle with anxiety. Her mom, Lori, is a counselor, and 10 years ago, they started a foundation called All It Takes to teach kids the emotional skills they need to handle stress and thrive. As they told our own Brittany Jones Cooper, those skills are in high demand right now.
Hey everybody, I'm Brittany Jones Cooper, host at Build Series. And you know our next guest from TV shows like Big Little Lies and films like Endings, Beginnings. Yes, I'm talking about Shailene Woodley. And joining Shailene is her mother and counselor, Lori Woodley, to talk about the nonprofit organization All It Takes. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. How are you, Brittany?
I'm good. First, I want to check in with you guys. We're 2 months into this whole social distancing thing. How are you guys doing? Lori, I'll start with you.
I'm doing really well most of the time. Every now and then I have an unexpected anxiety attack that I really didn't ever have before. But for the most part, I'm navigating well because I've been really busy and pivoting our in-person organization to an online platform. And that has kept me busy and focused on making a difference. So that has been helpful for me.
How about you, Shailene?
I've been good. It's highs and lows. I sort of look at quarantine as a great reflection for how life generally is in a normal environment, except it's so condensed. It's almost like we're all in a petri dish right now, and we're really having to self-examine and examine our social structures, our individual habits, and our patterns. So it's been wonderful because I'm someone who really kind of thrives, I think, in harsh challenges, but that doesn't mean that it's always been easy.
What advice do you guys have for people in social media during this time, or what are you personally doing with social media to stay healthy during this time?
Social media can be such a monster. My advice always is just don't read comments.
I personally am a big fan of putting the phone down. I'm kind of notorious for not responding to text messages. Right? It's just, for me, it's like how I can survive, and I can make time for communication, and then I have to shut it off. You're nodding your head, Shailene. You do the same thing.
Oh, I mean, my mom can attest to this. I have over 200 unread text messages on my phone right now. I have not listened to a voicemail in maybe 4.5 years. I have thousands of unread emails, and it is my way of self-preservation. And I've just come to the place in my life where I understand that it's frustrating for a lot of people, but if they truly care about me and love me, they're just going to accept that is part of me.
I think too is to do our very best to not take things personally and to circle around. I mean, similar to what you're saying, but circle around and bring people into our social media network that lift us up and don't drag us down.
And I know a lot of people are feeling bad right now or anxious right now because they're going through hard times, but they're not essential workers and they have their health and they have their jobs, but they're still feeling guilty or they feel guilty about feeling anxious. What do you say to those people?
I was talking to a friend the other day about this because I was expressing, I was like, I'm actually doing really good, but it's hard to say that when, so many people aren't. And he's like, it's important to recognize what's going on, to not be ignorant about what's going on, to be in service the best that you can, and to celebrate where you're at in your life as well. He's like, guilt is not going to help anything, and it's not going to progress this world. And it's completely correct. I think we self-inflict guilt because it's a way for us to rationalize the injustice that happens on the planet. Because there is no way to rationalize why injustice is here, why inequality is here, why certain things happen to certain people at certain times.
Yeah, and I love the work you guys are doing with your nonprofit, All It Takes. So let's talk about how that work has evolved and changed, because you started this organization 10 years ago. So how has it grown? And specifically now during this pandemic, what are you guys doing to kind of reach the people who follow you and help them through this time?
So online, we're doing webinars, and we've connected with a film called Angst, and that has been really great, a film on anxiety and bridging awareness to tools, from lack of awareness to having awareness to tools. And then a webinar series that is an hour a week where people can come on and really understand what they're dealing with and how that's showing up in the world for them and what they can do about it to be in comfort and ease. And in, navigate through this situation of the pandemic without being to navigate it without being upset more than happy, or being able to find happiness even when they acknowledge that they're upset.
So before we wrap, I just want to know a small thing you guys do for yourself every day to stay positive, whether it's an affirmation or a walk or an exercise. Just what is your go-to mood booster?
So we've been doing a ton of planting and already harvesting vegetables for the year. And that is so grounding and healing for me. So my two immediate go-tos probably is a hands in the dirt and walking. And water is, water's, I think, has got to be my element.
For me, it's water or a walk. So taking a bath or going on a walk. Those are my instant resets, or showered, anything water related or walking.
Are we doing like full bath, like candles?
Oh, candles,
oils,
and salts, books, music, all the oils. Yes. I don't just sit in hot water. I make like it's spa life. Why can't we have spa life at home? Why does it have to be resorted to a $200 situation somewhere, fancy? You can set a vibe at home. Yes.
Hi, future self of 2020.
Recording.
For 15 years, HuffPost has been breaking news, celebrating culture, and putting people before power.
And nothing could be more important than that.
I think we have an opportunity now to spread the word about whatever it is that we care about.
From heads of state to change makers to your community, HuffPost was there, sharing voices from all over the globe. Because for us, it's always personal.
My name is Sarah Cass. I am an emergency medicine doctor at Columbia University Medical Center. I live in Brooklyn with my husband and 3 children. I think that you're the best physician when you're honest and in touch with who you are. And for me, that includes being a wife and a mother. We started paying attention to COVID-19 really not just when it was in China, but when it was in Italy. Somewhere around the beginning of March, I would say, we started seeing a real increase in the number of cases in New York City. And I called a friend of mine and I said, it's about to get really bad. Being on the front lines, I had to look to my own family and say, how can I keep my family safe? With the high likelihood of me getting it, we had to separate. And it felt unfair on some level, but I also was watching so many other people make sacrifices. I knew that week, which was before anything had gone to lockdown, really, that it was going to be a really long, hard fought battle, and it was going to get much, much worse before it got better. Watching people lose the ability to breathe over and over again can give you nightmares. And so I just would get texts and phone calls from friends of mine that would talk about the number of people that were not able to breathe and who needed to be intubated and who needed to, go to the ICU. And then when patients started passing away. And I remember telling them they had to talk to me or somebody. They had to get it out. And then as soon as you see those results, you're like, wait a minute, like, oh, am I going to be okay? Right? You've spent the past week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe it's a month, now it's 3 months, seeing patients that you don't really think a lot about your own mortality because you're very busy thinking about everybody else's mortality. It is a rude awakening to have to spend a few hours even deciding what you would do if you had to be a patient in the ICU. And then telling your parents about that and telling your husband about that. And then your kids. Because the next thing I had to do was call my kids and say, hey guys, don't I make coronavirus look good? Because they're still kids and they don't need all your anxiety. But I think that, it hits you all the time, especially at night. So I didn't know if I was going to be okay, but I knew I was okay for today. And so every day I woke up, I would say, can you breathe? All right, I'm good for now. And then I would go on about my day. And I think for me, that was the best thing I could do to handle the uncertainty and what it was going to look like. There was a sense of identity that I could have with my patients that made it easier for me to feel like there was a reason why I got the virus, because I could use it to be a better doctor. There was a week, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it was bad. It had been the end of really the onslaught of patients, but for some reason, everyone I knew was dying. Somebody in my department died. The best nurse I ever trained under died. A chief ICU where I did my residency died. My friend's grandma died. My friend's mom died. It was like every day there was somebody. And I cried a lot because it's what you're supposed to do when people die. And then I got up and I did what I could do for the next patient. And if I think about it, I cry. But that's the natural grieving process, the moment that we're in, right? Is don't bottle up these feelings. Like, lean into them if you're scared. But don't let them consume you. I mean, part of what I think that we need to learn about in this moment is how to deal with uncertainty. Because we are going to be in a really uncertain time for a really long time. It's clear that the effect of this is not over. And it's clear that there's going to be doctors and nurses, frontline providers, who are going to not recognize the pain and suffering they had until it gets quieter, until the moment is over. We hope that the resources we've given out by being there for each other, by expanding mental health services, by talking out loud about our experiences, will buffer the pain that a lot of people aren't even recognizing they're in. So I think that there will be an element of trauma that's going to live with all of us after this, and we may not know what that looks like for a few months or even a year. I think that it's really important to know what services are out there for you and to reach out and get whatever you can do. But most importantly, whatever it is, you can't do this alone.
Grammy-nominated singer and mental health advocate Jewel gives us a sneak peek into her quarantine experience, plus a special performance of her new song, Grateful.
So I want to check in with you first. How has your social distancing been going? How has quarantine been treating you?
I'm naturally a fairly reclusive person, and I live out in nature in the Rockies, and so this hasn't been too hard on me. And I'm also really grateful that I have developed a mindfulness practice and a meditation practice to help with anxiety and uncertainty, so I don't feel this is as disruptive as it would have been if I didn't have those skills.
This is an anxious time for a lot of families. So I know you have a son, Case. What have you been saying to him to sort of explain what's going on?
He does know about the virus, but it hasn't had any of the massive fear and hysteria. He knows it's our duty to stay home. He knows the world's changing. So there's definitely been adjustments, but there's a lot to remember as parents because we're suddenly homeschooling. We're suddenly trying to do our job and have full-time teaching jobs with our children. And just remembering that our kids are going to remember the mood in the house much more than the details. Don't sweat it. If you didn't get the lesson plan done, who cares? Your kid's going to get to college. They're going to be fine. The mood in the house is what you don't want to sacrifice. You know, the math lesson that day isn't as important as the mood and the experience the child's having.
You said that your anxiety has been one of your greatest teachers. How so, and what was that process and journey like for you?
I started realizing that anxiety was my body's way of telling me something wasn't right, and that's good. So when you start to see it as an ally, it really helps. It's not an enemy. We have a tendency with our less attractive personality traits to want to cut them off, disassociate from them. When I've really learned that if I sit and I invite them in and go, all right, what are you trying to tell me? I learned something. I learned usually that, oh, I was just scaring myself with all my thoughts, and I need to be more thoughtful about curating what thoughts I'm engaging in.
And it takes time to learn that, and you have to have tools to learn that information, which that's what I love, that's how you're using your time during this quarantine, is to help share those tools with children. So take me through the work you're doing with the Inspiring Children Foundation and why that's important for you.
We founded the Inspiring Children Foundation 18 years ago. We work with kids with suicidal ideation, extreme anxiety, depression. They come from extremely, usually traumatic backgrounds. And this toolkit that I started developing when I was homeless, I started instilling it and putting it into this curriculum for our youth foundation. We give them mindfulness skills, a tennis racket, and entrepreneurial skills, and then they run the foundation. They do everything from video editing and all that, because when you learn you're capable, your self-esteem increases in a healthy way. Intrinsically, you start going, wow, I have value, I have worth. So they run everything, and they learn to heal through these mindfulness tools. And so now what we're doing is we're making these tools available to everybody. They were proven to work by an amazing neuroscientist named Dr. Judson Brewer, and they're up at a free website called jewelneverbroken.com.
So Jewel Never Broken has impacted so many students so far, and we actually have one with us. Cheryl, if you wouldn't mind joining us, I want to know how these tools, how this curriculum has impacted your life and helped you through this difficult time.
Definitely, I mean, this program has transformed and like saved my life. When I started in the program, I was about 13, and I grew up, both my parents struggled with addiction, and it really had an impact on me growing up, specifically with my relationship with my dad. We had this very codependent relationship where I blame myself for, you know, why he was depressed and suicidal and why he was drinking. And it kind of just led to a downward spiral for me. And, you know, I ended up struggling with depression and trying to end my own life twice. And right around that time in my life is when I got introduced to the foundation and the mindfulness and emotional intelligence tools and the mentors that helped kind of guide me out of that dark place and help me, I think, find light in a time where it was really, really difficult. So definitely, I think one of the greatest realizations that I learned from the foundation was that I am not my thoughts, and happiness is a choice. I can choose to let go of my negative thoughts and feelings and come back to the present, come back to the moment. And, you know, it's been such a gift and such a journey ever since. And I've been healing within myself, but then also being able to heal my relationship with my mom and my dad and, you know, all the people around me. So it's definitely been a gift and a life changer and saver.
Jewel, what is that like for you to hear?
I mean, Cheryl's amazing. You know, when you start realizing nobody's coming for you, you're coming for you. When you start realizing nobody owes you, but you owe yourself a lot and that you're capable, you hit a new gear. The thing I really love about this program is these kids don't have access to traditional therapy. We don't have access to those things. They have access to this toolkit, and it works. I know it works because it saved my life. It rewired my brain, it rewired my habits, and we've now seen it work for 18 years with kids with the most extreme cases. Typically, suicide rates nearly double during a recession, and we've never had a recession during a pandemic with isolation. And right now, our suicide hotlines across the country are up 300%. There's other distress hotlines up over 800%. We have a real problem. There's the potential for a greater loss of life from a mental health fallout than there is from the virus potentially. And that's why we're so passionate about helping give these tools that we know work, that people can do at home, whether they have access to a therapist or not.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't go outside right now, but we can go inward. And I think a lot of people are realizing that, and these tools are going to help them through that. I do think it's so important to give people hope and to empower them in their own mental health journey. So thank you for all the work you're doing.
Again, if
Awesome.
anybody's interested in these tools, please visit jewelneverbroken.com. It's a free website, has these mental health tools that have been proven to work.
Thank you, Jewel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We will be right back with the performance by Jewel.
Excuse me, mister. I fell on hard times. I need some help, but don't need a dime. Day after day, holding up my sign. It says we'll work for love.
Please, pay it forward to support the local businesses you love. Buy gift cards, order to go, shop local online. Pay it forward.
Investing is looking at the business itself and saying, what will this do over time? I bought my first stock when I was 11 years old. The progress of mankind has been incredible, and that won't stop. Be sure to watch the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting live streamed on Yahoo Finance.
When everything's wrong, when I can't find my song, when darkness is all I see, there is a remedy. It's all the little things that make the world go round. It's all the little things that are most powerful. There's no politician knows got to die. No one can take the love from my heart. My sun gonna shine in this heart of mine. The sun gonna shine in this heart of mine. The sun gonna show it's true, 'cause I can always be grateful. And the loudest sound is your own life crashing down. When your friends they don't come around, there's one true thing I found. The sun gonna shine in this heart of mine. The sun gonna shine in this heart of mine. The sun gonna shine, ooh, it's true. 'Cause I can always be grateful.
Thank you so much to Jewel for that performance. I hope you found comfort and hope over the last 90 minutes. Next week, we are going to tackle resetting our mindsets at work. On behalf of all of us at Yahoo and Verizon Media, thank you for watching.
It's your portfolio. It's your retirement. It's your money.
Isn't it time you trade up? With Yahoo Finance Premium, you can trade up to tools that let you go beyond the fundamentals, to exclusive access to proprietary data and pattern recognition. With industry-leading insights and advanced charting, you can make the best moves for your money. Get started with your free trial today